welcome, America, to another episode of the Book of Man. It's me, your boy, J. Sims the Lion, your host with the most and all of that good stuff, here to bring you another episode. As always, I have with me my man, Doc.
Hey, everybody.
Doc?
I'm pretty good today, man. I mean, I can't complain. I'm thankful to be here, thankful to be alive. Can't get better than that, man.
All right, first let me say this: like, share, subscribe. Let us know if you like what we're saying, you like what we're doing. Please like, share, subscribe. We be on YouTube, Facebook, all the platforms. Give us a holler, give us a comment. Let us know how we're doing. This morning we got something for y'all. We have a guest. This is a young man who's been doing everything right. Serves our country in the United States military. Worked his way up through the enlisted ranks to become a CW. Y'all don't know what that means? Go look it up. I'm not gonna tell you. Right? You know what I'm saying? He's an engineer. He's a graduate of Penn State. This is somebody I respect, done everything right, and I want y'all to listen to his story. He got something that I'm sure a lot of brothers can relate to, and I just want to see how you feel about it. Good morning, Augustus Wright. Big Gus, how you doing this morning, brother?
No, I'm doing good, man. You know, it's always good and pleasant when, three or more brothers get together and able to chop it up.
Yes, sir.
All right.
So, Doc, how did we get here? How did we get here to having this wonderful brother on this platform with us today?
Okay, so, we both have known Gus for quite a while. Mm-hmm. Ever since, we were young whippersnappers in high school. Some of us longer than that. So
go back to middle school. Go back to Mercer. I'm gonna tell you some tricks.
Oh man.
Oh, you about to get us? Oh, this man.
Hey, let me tell you a quick story, right?
Go ahead.
I always had a fire in my belly, right? So I was in the 7th grade, early '90s, and we grew up. I'm not an orphan or nothing like that, but we didn't have the kind of father figures that we are. So I had to learn a lot of stuff on my own. So I went out there and tried basketball. And long story short, Coach Talley at Mercer, he didn't put my name on the list, right? I got cut in my 7th grade year, but the last guy on the list was Simone Hicks. He made it. So I've been gunning for you for a long time, dude. I told myself, you know what? I'm going to figure out what this dude did that I didn't do, and I'm going to make it next year. Now, I came back and I made it next year. I rode that pine, though, a little bit. Ralph Jones and Billy Williams, all them fellas, and Julio and them guys. And we won the championship, though.
That's right.
So, so it's all about improving and following in the footsteps of the guys in front of you.
That's right.
Wow. Ooh, goodness.
Hey, that's some trivia for you, right?
Yeah, you went all the way back there.
All the way back in the day.
Back. That's funny, but let me get into what we're gonna talk about today. So I saw you made a post, and I'm gonna show everybody the post right now. I'll read it right quick, and I'm gonna let you go ahead and get into the story. So if you look here, this is a copy of your post, November 28th. A friend and I got the police called on us today for working out with our sons at Chin Aquatics and Fitness Center this morning. They said we appeared to be organized and training, and that's not allowed there. So, what can you tell us about that? What happened? Let's hear the story so we can know all the details.
Yeah, as you guys said, I go back 23 years in the military, so I just so happen to have over the years learned how to train other people. But bottom line is I'm just a parent, just like any other body. So our sons, a bunch of 12-year-olds, 4 12-year-old kids, me and a few other parents here in this area, they're going to try out for basketball in January 2022. So me, that just like that story I told you, I'm not going to let my kid go out there unprepared, especially when I done been there and done that. So, we took it upon ourselves over the entire summer. We worked out, and that was outdoors, and that was cold. So we found some indoor facilities that offered open gym, as what they're advertising it as, where you pay, and then you come in, and then you can do open gym, whatever that means. So for 2 weeks in a row, we've gotten up 7:30 in the morning, and we go down there, myself and 3 other parents, and we take our sons in there, and then we work out to get them ready so that when it's time for them to try out, they won't have to go through some of the things that we had to go through when we were coming up. So, 1 week goes by, everything goes smooth. And mind you this, when we show up with ball bags in hand, cones, water, everything that you would need. And nobody at the front desk ever say, hey, what are you guys planning on doing here? That's not allowed. Well, second week, November 28th, we show up, and about an hour into our workout, state ranger comes out and says, hey,
they call the state police on you.
Yeah, state park ranger comes out, armed, gun, everything, badge, and calls Mr. Crockett, a friend of mine who's part of the group, out of the gym, because I was over there working with the kids. So he called him out and then proceeds to tell him everything that I put in that post, that, hey, that's not allowed here. You guys are organized and you're doing training, and that's some kind of conflict of interest, and asked us to stop. So, that's pretty much where we're at right now.
Okay, so organized and trained, are they trying to say, you guys are part of a team, or are they trying to, what does that mean? Did they ever describe to you what organized and training mean? Because I couldn't find the code. I looked it up.
No, they didn't describe to us what it mean. And the whole encounter is problematic in so many ways in of itself to me, because first of all, the staff, they're present at the facility, never addressed us. So I saw it immediately as a unnecessary escalation, discriminatory, and it alienated ourselves and the kids, and made the kids feel unwelcome. And to me, one of the most important things that bothered me about it was that, these are regular people. And I don't consider myself to be regular people. I ain't no civilian, but I was in civilian clothes, and they don't know that. So they just saw me as everybody else, just another Black dude and potentially a threat. So the part that bothers me the most is that we have 4 12-year-old boys and their parents, which consisted of one woman and 3 Black men, including myself. And we were seen as a threat. To the point where the staff didn't feel like they could come talk to us like human beings.
Right.
They had armed law enforcement involved. And to me, that's a problem. It's a huge problem.
Yes. And that's what I wanted to, that's what came to my mind. Why didn't the people that work there just say, or at least come and find out and see what you're doing? But they waited until the second week, and then they called the state police on you. And I think that's they went to the extreme. They went from 0 to 60 for a situation that did not require that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now I have a question. So my question was, I know you said you went there very early in the morning. Yeah. Were there other people there that were playing? Were the space limited or something?
No, space wasn't limited. The first week, we were the only ones there for at least 2 hours. Second week, there was a group of adults on the far end court playing full court basketball, and we were on the central court, working out with the kids. And there were 2 free courts available, so we weren't taking up too much space. And then another set of kids came in with their father, and Mr. Crockett, he's an extrovert, a lot more outgoing than me. He even invited those kids to come play with us so we could play, an actual game. So we weren't taking up too much space. I can attest to that. And obviously they have camera footage, because when they asked us to come step outside and talk to the cops, they said it was because of what they had seen on the camera. So I encourage anybody to go do their own research. Go pull that camera footage. We were not taking up.
They saw fathers interacting with sons. That's what they saw on the camera.
Yeah, and apparently that's a problem.
Something to call the police about.
Yeah, apparently that's a problem.
Rather than walk up to you guys and say, hey, what's going on here? Or this is some crazy rule we have here. This is what the rule is. This is what it means. We need you guys to cease and desist or leave the gym or do something.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we're not charging anybody. This is all on a voluntary basis. Us collectively as a group working with our sons. So the conflict of interest, I don't quite understand that because we're not profiting by using their facility. In fact, we lost money. We gave them money to use the facility.
Is that you paid? You paid to use it.
Right.
Yep.
And they tried to dictate and dig up an old rule that was deep down in the rule book to get you to stop.
Well,
but go ahead.
I don't understand the rule. Like, I don't understand what I'm trying to figure out. What you guys could have done. Like, I'm sorry, I would have just had to be, hey man, you got to explain to me what we're doing wrong.
Oh, absolutely. I've been asking that question for a couple of days now, because obviously I'm not going to lay down for that kind of stuff. Because you know, we deserve to be anywhere we want to be. You know, to me, I'm a ones and zeros type of guy, engineer. True or false? Is it a free country or is it not? You know, it's simple.
It's supposed to be.
Right. It's supposed to be. So to me, I still have not received an explanation of it. And I've spoken with the supervisor after the fact because I had asked the front desk staff to give me his information, and I wrote him, you know, from my work email. And then he sent me some bogus apology that says, oh, it was me that called the cops on you guys. And I know it could have been handled better. And then I told him, I wrote him back and I said, hey, thanks for writing back. But with all due respect, I'm going to have your response reviewed. And apparently that spooked him out because of who I am, which is bothersome to me in of itself. Because, you know, what about other people?
Right.
You know, what about other people who don't happen to be, you know, a combat veteran with 23 plus years in service? Don't thank me for my service after the fact. You know, treat me like a human being when I'm in plain clothes and you don't know who I am. You know, that's the golden rule. Treat others as you would like to be treated yourself. Don't wait to find out who somebody is to start falling in line. You know, that's a problem to me. You know, so he put me in contact. Well, he didn't put me in contact. Well, his supervisor from the Prince Williams County Parks and Services government office called me and apologized and admitted in plain text that they had violated escalation clauses and that the staff should have approached us if there was a problem. And she offered myself and all three other parents, full refunds for the time that we spent. Now, so that's already been issued, but it's still no resolution because I had asked her the question, you know, just like I said here, what is the line of demarcation between when a parent goes from being just a parent, spending time and mentoring his or her child, to being a coach, you know, who's doing something in your facility that's in conflict with the services that you provide? She couldn't answer it. You know, she couldn't answer it. So there's still no resolution in so many words.
Look, you know just as well as I do. And I mean, I wasn't there. I don't know the people, anything like that. I think the supervisor put himself in the line of fire, but he wasn't the one that did it. Because they would have had to been some sort of suspicion for them to even watch a tape of parents and children playing basketball when other people were there playing basketball. Why did they watch the tape? You know, I mean, we all know what it is. I mean, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it. We have African Americans in a place, and to some people, we appear to be imposing. I mean, it's already documented that most people see our children as 3 to 4 years older than what they actually are.
It's true.
And we feel intimidated by that. So here's my question to you. And this is the most important question, because I know you brought it up, but you didn't address it directly. What did y'all tell the kids? What conversations were had?
We ironically kept on playing. I wanted them to kick us out, you know? So Mr. Crockett, he talked to his son offline in the car on the way home, and his son had a ton of questions. But me specifically, the other kids that were there, I tried to make it transparent to them because, first of all, I don't want them thinking that there's something wrong with them and that they don't belong. You know, and I just spoke about the topic. I got invited out to St. Louis in October to speak on diversity, equity, and inclusion at a STEM symposium. And that's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And before we can expect our kids to rise to the top, one of the rungs on there is belonging, and even safety is below that. In that situation, bringing in an armed officer, that is a imposition and a threat to our safety. And then to make us feel like we don't belong, you're trying to knock us down a peg or two. So talking to the kids, it hasn't been addressed yet for a couple of reasons. One, there's no resolution, and two, they didn't do anything wrong, and neither did we.
Well, they definitely didn't do anything wrong, but I imagine, for a 12-year-old, some 12-year-old boys who just playing basketball, training with their father, basically doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is, having fun and hanging out with their parents. That's what they're supposed to be doing at 12 years old. To have an armed, I don't know why is this feeling like they don't realize us and our children don't want to be around armed men that's coming to handle us in a certain type of way. Like it's almost like they feel like we're supposed to deal with the police. We're supposed to be, bothered by the police. Like nobody wants that. Nobody got up in the morning like, oh, the police gonna bother me today. I can't wait to have my police interaction.
Yeah, exactly. I'm fine if I don't never talk to the police a day in my life, or as long as I live from now on. Because first of all, I ain't no criminal. I respect the work that they do, but I don't want to have to talk to them. I mean, because if I have to talk to them, either I'm calling them because somebody done something to me and my property, or somebody suspected I done did something. So I don't never want to have to talk to them. That's just something I don't want to do.
Yeah. Y'all know what?
Other than some traffic, other than directions and some traffic, that's about it. Not that like you said, I don't have no issue with the police, none. But
none whatsoever.
Every time they're around, something not going right.
Yeah.
This reminds me of a conversation, and I know we had already set this up before, early in the week. But in my regular occupation, I teach kids. And specifically this year, they are about 11, 12 years old. And something you said reminded me of a conversation I had with a small group of boys yesterday and you said that you didn't want the kids to feel like they did something wrong. You didn't want them to view themselves in a certain way. Yeah. And what's sad is that so many of our boys, and I'm going to say boys because I think that boys are largely ignored by society, especially Black.
Yeah, I mean, this was a group of boys, and I think specificity is important. There weren't any girls with us, so this happened to 4 young boys.
But these boys, the one I was talking to, because of situations, they had a negative view of themselves. They would tell me, okay, the good kids get to do this, but why we can't? So my response to them was, so you're saying you're a bad kid? And they said, yeah. And I said, you're not a bad kid, but you just make choices that are not so smart, but you're not bad. So when things like this happen, what society doesn't realize and what people don't realize when they call the police on children and fathers and children is that they damage our kids because the kids feel like they are the villain in the story.
Right. Absolutely.
That's why they be heroes.
Yeah, that's why me and Mr. Crockett and Mr. Land, we took this one on the chin for those kids. There's a meme going around, of a wolf with a bunch of arrows in his back. We took them arrows and shielded those kids from that. To me, I would hope that they didn't even notice, which I know they're smart enough. They noticed, but we continued on, and after the encounter with the cops, we played another hour. That's because I ain't a cut and run type of dude. Right. And there ain't nobody about to tell me after I done got shot at by Iraqis and bombed by Iraqis that I can't be in a gym in the United States of America. I wanted them to put me out there.
Okay, I that brings me to another question that I wanted to ask. You are in a position to answer this question. There's a film came out a while ago called A Tuskegee Airman. There's a line in the film where the guy says, as a U.S. Army officer who gladly puts his life on the line every day, there's no greater question within me than how do I feel about my country, and how does my country feel about me? After a situation like that, and this is America, so I know you've had others. Does that, being that you are a soldier, you are a military service member, do you ever ask yourself that question?
Oh, you have to ask yourself that question. And the thing about it is, I wish that everybody could serve in the military, even if it's for a year or a day, because shared hardship and camaraderie that you go through in them situations, you start to see people for people, and you start to find commonality that you didn't even know existed. So I don't think nowadays in the year 2021 that the problem is so big within the military in of itself. I think it's the other people who have not had to come together, with life or death being on the line. It's those people who don't quite get it yet. That inclusion and acceptance and a sense of belonging makes us all stronger.
Correct.
And I talked about it, again, like I said a couple months ago, when we talk about diversity, one thing a lot of people think, they're thinking diversity of skin color, diversity of sex, the diversity of sexual preference and religion. But what we overlook is diversity of history. There's nobody else in this country other than Black people that have had to endure all those years of slavery and then Jim Crow. And then now all of a sudden you being asked, okay, to be a contributing member of society when there's so many years to catch up on, in terms of building wealth and education, when we weren't allowed to do all those things, even walk freely historically in this country. So when you talk about the question of being a service member and how I feel walking around in this country, I have to say that it shouldn't be the question of being a service member. It should be the question of being a Black man, because that's who I am. I can't wear that suit forever. I don't tie my everyday feelings, my sense of pride to that uniform, because it's not a permanent thing. But I'm permanent Black. I'm permanently Black. I think we got a lot of work to do. And I think that going forward, government officials or any so-called person who calls themselves a leader, they need to lead based on the premise of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And that's belonging for every American. That's a gay, a Black, a white, a man, a female. Every American needs to feel a sense of belonging, and they also need to feel safe. And when people are calling the police on parents playing ball with their kids, because to me, the police are there when things done gone bad, and something needs to be enforced. The law needs to be enforced. And some people would even say crime needs to be fought. They're there to fight crime. When you're calling police on Black people, my safety is in jeopardy at that point. Because they're there to force something or to fight something. And who is that? Me?
Exactly. Your story, and I told y'all behind the scenes in the back channel that I had a similar story when I was growing up playing ball. And I lived outside of Savannah, that's where I grew up. And we would always go and play ball at the gym in this city. And instead of them telling us, can we do something different or we are violating rules, you know what they did? They first they cut back the days the gym was open. So it wasn't every day. It was just on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Then it was only open on Wednesday. And then what they did is they just so happened to wax the floor every Wednesday. Yep. They didn't close it. They just put wax on the floor so we would play and have to slip and slide around. So then when we would find an outside court within the city that my parents' tax dollars and mine, because I was working at the time, paid for, they called the police on us and said we had to leave because we were too loud. And after that, they took the goals off of the pole. So we could not play. They blocked us out. Now, when I tell that story, and the first thing I thought of was a documentary I watched, and it was about why Black people can't swim.
Mm.
And it comes from
Not being allowed to the pool.
Exactly. And it's kind of the same thing. So what are they trying to take from us now?
Yeah, it's fifth grade cause and effect. You know, if you cut somebody, they're gonna bleed. If you deny people access to education, they won't be educated. If you don't let them, do recreation, they're gonna be out of shape, unfit, and so on and so forth. So it's all systemic. It's what it comes down to me. And all of those things that you're talking about are those insidious things that exist that need to be addressed. Because we can go and we can say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, but make sure that the playing field is level first.
You know what? I gotta have a boot first. And they say pull yourself by the bootstraps, but we don't have boots yet. We're still trying to do that. But
because there's an old saying that says, idle hands go in the devil's workshop. And if you're denying children a place to play, then
what they gonna do? They're gonna get in trouble.
They're gonna get in trouble. This is what it is.
Yeah. I remember the hours you get out of school, you go home, get your little after school snack. If you're lucky, everybody didn't have after school snack, but you go home, get your little after school snack, you go right up to the park and you play there till the sun go down.
Yeah.
And that's how you stay out of trouble.
But you know the difference though? I'm gonna tell you the difference, Jay. I'm gonna tell y'all the difference. They want us to do all that, but we need to do it over there.
Yeah.
And not over here with them. And that's the shame.
But that's the problem. It shouldn't be no them. It shouldn't be no over there with them, over there. Exactly. Yeah, this is America. We all Americans. We all pay taxes. We all contribute to society. All three of us, we all working, man. We all got jobs. We take care of our kids, all that good stuff. Why should us or our children be subject to much at all? If we're doing the right thing, if we decided, okay, y'all say this the rules, cool. All right, I understand the rules. I'm gonna follow the rules. I did it. I go to work. I make a decent living. And I got me a decent house. I got the car. I got my kids in school. All Gus was trying to do was go to the gym and help his son get better at a sport.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Spending time with boys.
But they say we don't do enough of. They say, Black men don't spend enough time with their sons and aren't family. This is a family man. Yep. This is a family man married for 20-something years.
Yeah. Doing everything way that
right.
Raising, supposed,
and this man can't have a good day.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, man. And when people get to talking about rules and policies, look, people write rules and policies. There was once a policy that said, hey, you ain't allowed to be walking around unless your slave master give you some papers that say you can. So first of all, I want to know who wrote the policy, why they wrote it. And, one fella, I've been working in the engineering community a long time. One of the smartest dudes I've ever met, God rest him. He had told me, ask why 5 times, question everything. And when you ask why, is there a policy? Is there any such policy? 5 times, it comes down to folks' conflict of interest in some way, form, or fashion. Why it would be a problem for parents to be in a facility working with their kids. Are you losing money because we're doing this? Do you want us to rely on you to do something that we can do for ourselves? What is it? Ask why 5 times, and you probably get down to the bottom of it.
I want to, I guess, turn this in a different direction. I just had a thought.
Okay.
And the question I'm gonna put out there is, why do other people see us as threats when we're doing regular things that everybody else does? Because I see it in schools. In the schools, the way that our young Black boys are treated, even by our own, Black woman teachers treat Black boys the same way as the white woman teachers. I see it. So why are we considered to be threats in everything we do?
Power. Because whenever a black man or a black boy, for that matter, reaches into his own power, they know we have the ability to change, lead, influence any room we walk into. So if they don't think we're using it in the way they want us to use it, and when I say they, I mean women, white, other races, creeds, colors. Whenever they think we aren't using it the way they want us to use it, then they want to regulate it and or stomp it out completely. And I think in the matter of the white power structure in this country, they want to stomp it out completely. But as far as the school system and the women in the school system, they just afraid that this little black boy might end up having more influence in their classroom than they do.
And that's the thing, because, you know, I'm there. I see that. And it's a way you could take someone that has that influence and power over others and influence them to use their powers for good. You know, it's very detrimental.
But you a black man, Moan. You a black man, dog. So you don't see, as a black man, you don't see a black boy as a threat. You see him as a replacement or a better version of yourself that you need to train to become that. They don't see him as that. They see black boys as somebody that will dominate them in the near future.
Yeah, and then you have to you have to take that and turn it around, you know, because most people manifest their own shortcomings onto the next person. So a lot of people, whether they know it or not, they're thinking, well, if I had that power, what would I do with it? So I don't want them to do that to me, you know.
Right.
So you know, it's one of those things where we have to acknowledge that there is inherent goodness in most people. Not everybody, you know, some people are bad people, but a lot of these kids are labeled and even brainwashed into thinking that they're bad kids, to use your term, Simone, before they even know who they are. You know, they get put into this bucket that they can't psychologically get out of. You know, and I don't think I got a problem, you know, with labeling somebody as bad before they've even done anything. You know, these are young people. They're not bad. They might be starting off with a humble beginning, or they may lack the knowledge that you have right now. But there was once a time that we didn't know what we know. So it is on us to educate them. And just like you said, you know, that is the approach that we got to encourage people to take, because I see it all the time. Because right now I'm in a position where I have to mentor other young officers. And you see the struggle all the time. Well, they don't come talk to me. They'd rather come talk to this person, but I outrank that person. I was like, well, use them. You know, use that person and their influence to your benefit. You outrank them. That means you write their evaluation. So in your performance expectation, tell them what you expect, and tell them how you want them to use that power that they've inherited somehow. You know, so it's not a thing where you need to be fighting the young. You should be working and uplifting them.
Well, okay. Along Gus's line, to his point, Gus is saying, be a leader.
Yeah.
You know, I guess a lot of those teachers, and maybe in your arena, and I see it in mine, some people have a position or a title that's a leadership title, but they aren't really leaders.
Yeah.
They just have a title or a job or a position. And then you got other people who are actual leaders who may be lesser rank, that those person are afraid of, because that person's a real true leader, and they just got a rank or a title. You know, everybody that has a leadership title is not a leader.
And I'll say this: leadership is one of those things that when you say it, most people think of it in context of your job. But as Gus has shown us, it goes through life, because he doesn't get paid to be a dad. He doesn't get paid to train. Train children to prepare them. But that's the inherent leadership in him.
Right.
And that's the inherent leadership in us, because we're here every week doing this show, talking about topics, trying to lead people in a positive direction. So I want to say that leadership is not a job. It's inherent quality that you
Right.
have.
Exactly.
And he's
Yeah.
showing us that.
Yeah, I can definitely go along with that. And I would add to it, leadership is owning the responsibility to take care of your fellow person. You know, and going back to Maslow's hierarchy, don't be expecting, top tier performance if you're not willing to meet bottom tier requirements
Yep,
that
needs.
every
Needs.
human being have. Every human being needs to eat. They need to
Yep.
feel safe. They need to feel like they belong and that they're loved. And then you can start expecting that, for them to perform in the classroom, to perform, in society. But if you're not meeting those, the expectations are unrealistic. It's proven science.
That's true. It's just, we sit here, we all black men, we all, have lived a life that's probably been unfair on some aspects just by the fact that we black men. And we all have sons, and we've all worked hard to try to limit that as much as possible for our sons. But events like what happened with you, it brings back all those emotions of, at some point my son has to go out in this world by himself.
Yeah.
And what can I do? I talk to him, I try to teach him, but I feel like some of the conversations that I have to have are really, it's a damn shame I got to have them.
Oh yeah, I feel the same way. Same thing. With my daughter. This is the thing with Sandra Bland that happened.
It happened.
With the other young lady, Breonna Taylor, that happened. So me, I got a daughter and a son, and I feel equally concerned about both of them out in the world. And we done had to talk with them. The talk that black people have to have with their kids. When you get pulled over by the police, your job is to make it home.
Right.
You ain't got to argue. Guess what? We can afford an attorney at our house. You ain't got to argue to fight with nobody. You just make it home. You ain't there to prove no point. Let somebody else do that for you in a courtroom. But the thing that stands out to me with the question that you have about our kids, and how we feel about them having to go out into the world is quite simple. When we find ourselves in positions and in rooms, don't try to blend in. One thing that we've been conditioned to do is to change our voice. I even hear it make me laugh when some of my, I ain't gonna say no names to protect the innocent, but I got some black colleagues that they change their whole voice when they're talking to me and when they're talking to other people. Hey, how you doing, Bob? Yeah, great. Show on. Hey, look, dude, let that bass in your voice shine. Be who you are. Don't cower down. And then and they make sure that they don't get upset in certain ways. Look, we can get upset. We have to be authentic when we're in certain situations. And I don't care where I'm at. I could be in a room with a congressman. And I have no shame about saying I do not like what happened to Trayvon Martin. I don't like what happened to George Floyd. Your authenticity in those situations is the best thing you can do to protect your sons so that people will know that that's not okay. And we're not numb. Those old laws that they had back in the days calling us 3/4 of a person. Look, we feel too. We care about our kids. We feel pain. We feel anger. We feel disgraced. All the things that regular people feel, we feel it too because we regular people. So I would say that's the best thing you can do. And that in of itself is educational to people who are receiving other education that you may not know about because, we don't control what people teach at their dinner tables. And there's still some people who are saying that that we are less than what we really are.
My what I tell my kids, because like you, I have a daughter and a son. And since they were very small, I think that thinking critically and seeing a situation for what it is of the utmost importance, to uncover motivations for things. And that could serve them well in any context, whether my daughter has a boyfriend, thinking critically about things that he says and does, motivations behind things, My son, if he's only 14, but when he goes out into the world, being able to critically analyze the situation and see that, okay, in this situation, I need to try to make it home, like you said, number one
Yeah.
goal. And to put that ahead of the emotions inside to want to fight back right then,
Yep.
to step back and take the long view and fight it in a different way. So, to answer that question, this is the critically thinking about the situation.
Correct.
Yep.
But it's just, I can't get past the feeling of, why do I have to even have those conversations? Why do I have to tell my son, my daughter, oh, just make it home? Even though somebody's maybe doing them wrong, they got to sit there and grin and bear whatever it is. And this mistreatment just to make it home. Like, we have to send our children out into the world with the understanding their life is on the line. Every time they go out into the world, anytime they interact with law enforcement, your life is on the line. That's
it goes back to what I was saying, about history. We have a different history in this country. And people, they make up these names, critical race theory and all of this stuff. They make up these names to call history something other than what it is. Look, this stuff happened. This stuff happened, right? And then the thing about it that most people struggle with, that thank God I don't struggle with it, is that history is playing out right now. We're writing new history. I mean, we're right in the middle of the fourth industrial revolution, the era of data and artificial intelligence. Look, history is playing out right now. And guess what? That history of us going through slavery and Jim Crow, it touches the present. And it will continue to touch the future until we acknowledge it and make people aware that it is a thing and hold folks accountable, because, we can't change history, but we can change now and we can change tomorrow, but we have to acknowledge now with the context of history in mind. And that's why that conversation is so important with our kids. Hey, be careful. Make sure that you make it home. And that is an acknowledgement of history that touches the present, that, hey, there are still people who feel like you shouldn't be here, or who feel like you're guilty until proven innocent. There are still people. That's just the context of history. It's one of those unfortunate things. It's like me having a bruise on my face and not wanting to talk about how I got there. We have to talk about it.
This is America. We've all grown up here and seen, we've lived through Rodney King all the way up to George Floyd. And it feels like every 10 years or so we redo the same thing. We have some incident that happens, that occurs, that kind of reminds us what America really feels about us.
Yeah.
And
and then there's some people out there, that are good people, because you don't do anything amazing alone. And because me, just haphazardly, I became, somebody who studies and looks at Black history, because I've always believed there's no way to know where you're going unless you really understand where you came from. So, my whole thing, in this country is I do realize that there's no way to overcome being held here captive in chains, whipped, women being raped and brutalized, families being torn apart and sold off like property, and being forced into centuries of labor without any wealth or profit to show for it today. That's just no way, to really truly get anywhere unless we acknowledge that stuff. So I would say that, I would say that we have a lot of work to do. Is what we have to do. It's just a whole lot of work to do, and we can't be the ones to sit around and act like it's all good when it's not all good.
No, because when you go home, it's all good, but you still have to go out into the world. You still have to go out and interact. You still have to go out and buy food. We have to be out there. So
Yeah.
definitely we need to be aware of what's happening, and that speaks directly to the reason why we're here. What happened to you and your son.
Yeah.
Because now he knows that it's there. It happens.
Yes,
It's not made up.
It's there, and there's still some insidious things that persist. And there's also some good people out there that have helped us along the way, because we couldn't have overcome what we overcame without help.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we were brought here
Mm-hmm.
centuries ago, our condition was helplessness. It was chains, and it was servitude. So somebody had to help us, and not only that, more importantly, we had to help ourselves. So we just got to continue to push. And we got to find those allies and work with them to get things on a level playing field.
Well, let me ask this to both of you guys.
Mm.
Do you think that can be achieved? Do you believe there's a point in which us as African Americans, and more poignantly us as Black men, can ever get to a level playing field? What we do know in this country, the times when the playing field is level or even close to level, we have excelled. But can we, on a national scale and society as a whole, ever achieve a level playing field?
Yeah, I think achieved, the word achieve, to me, I don't think that's something that's achievable. I think it's something that has to be agreed upon by all stakeholders.
Yeah.
All members of this country, they have to agree that is a thing that's needed, because you can try to achieve all day long. That's almost like putting an animal in a cage and him trying to achieve getting out. Somebody got to unlock that cage. Somebody have to agree. Somebody got to agree to let him out that cage. So you can try to achieve all day long, but you can cause bodily harm to yourself trying to achieve something within a system that's set up for you not to achieve it.
And I want to piggyback on that when you said the system has to change, but there is no incentive for the system to change.
Well, that's where I was going.
There's no incentive. And what we can do, we have to teach our children, and we have to survive within this system, but also try to have incremental changes to it, or to achieve, or to get to a point where everyone agrees that, we're all actually equal. Because you know how it is now. They say, yeah, we equal. Everyone has a chance, but actually the same rules are in place. They just worded it a little bit differently.
Well, we get all mixed up. We get all mixed up all the time, because sometimes folks are sitting in a conversation like this, right? And I got to go in a couple seconds to go watch that game. But folks are getting a conversation like this, and they're talking. There can be 5 people saying equal and level playing field, but 3 of those 5 people really mean I want to be liked, right?
So I say it.
Look, I don't care about being liked. I don't care about that. I care about being done right, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know that there are some people who will always look at me and see an ugly black monkey, and they're not gonna like me. It's just not within them to like me. And I don't care about that. I think it's a futile effort to try to achieve, being liked. So what we got to do is we got to inform people on what's in it for them. A smart man told me a long time ago, if you're talking to a group of firemen about a roll of toilet paper, don't waste their time with telling them how soft it is. Talk to them about how flammable it is, right?
There you go.
So if you're talking to people about being included and being accepted and being functional members of society, talk to them about what's in it for them. Because if you're talking about them liking you, in the same breath as you talking about them doing business with you, because I think the structure of a country, it's all about business and commerce.
It is
living together,
bring
together. Let's live together. Let's profit together. Let's be safe together. Let's protect ourselves together. Let's win together, right? And if in the process you meet a few people you like, great, but that ain't the most important thing.
Well, first off, let me thank you for joining us, Gus. Man, it's been great having you on. I really appreciate your point of view. you definitely dropped some jewels for me today on some things that you said. And I'd love to have you back another time. If we get other topics you want to talk about, please feel free to join us. And just thank you for spending this time with us. I know you got to go and hang out with your daughter, doing what you do as a father. And we appreciate you.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you guys doing this, man, and keep doing what you're doing, because it's making a difference. It really is, and I know you guys are just two guys, but we multiply that, and we can get a whole lot done together, and let's just deliberately, without any shame and unapologetically, work together. Because I just see so many people, they make it a point to be standoffish when it comes to people, because they feel like that the thing that happened to us in the gym is going to happen to them. They're going to see us working together and see us as a threat. Well, if that threatens them, there's something wrong with them, not us.
That's right.
There's something wrong with them.
Well, I like to say, Gus, thank you for coming on and accepting the invitation to come and talk about what happened. And I echo Jay's sentiments. You're always welcome. If it's something you want to get on here and talk about, send me a message, let me know, we'll set it up. And, as always, I enjoy interacting with you. I enjoy talking to you. We may not see eye to eye on everything, but we still point in the same direction. And I'm good with that.
Yeah, if you get everybody who agree, if everybody agrees, and somebody ain't thinking. So
hey, you right on that one.
So you guys keep challenging me, and I definitely do that. And remember, I got that site, the Million Mentors March for Black kids, Black boys and girls. You guys welcome in that forum, and I really think we need to collaborate. This is
you know what? We'll make sure we put the
put it in
link.
The description.
Yeah, we'll put it in the description.
Okay.
Anything else you want to talk about a pub right now, please, by all means, brother, talk about it. Any groups you're a part of, anything you want to let the people be aware of, go ahead. This your time. Do that.
Nah, man, that's it, man. That's that Million Mentors March for Black boys and Black girls, because I truly think that kids are emulators, and they're gonna mimic what they see. And so if we make ourselves accessible to them, and maybe we'll rub off on them in positive ways, So just keep doing what you're doing, and let's keep collaborating and standing up for ourselves and our kids. Because being focused, of course we fight for everybody. We're here for everybody, but everybody don't need us as much as our kids do at this point in time. So specificity is important. Scattered energy is chaos. So let's keep focusing on our kids and our community.
Perfect.
We appreciate you, bro.